Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Maya Ashraf and today I am going to present my Capstone project entitled Assessing the Impact of Extreme Heat on the Urban Air Quality and EQMS based study of the Sargodha, Pakistan. The reason I selected this topic is because in recent years, extreme heat is the major environmental concern, especially in the Sargodha. The summers are increasing and the high temperature are the basically the this time higher temperature are experienced in Sargodha. At the same time, air pollution is another important environmental challenge. So, through this project, I wanted to explore the extreme heat and urban air quality and their relationship and how we can manage them. इस प्रोजेक्ट की एक इम्पोर्टेंट स्ट्रेंथ ये है कि ये सिर्फ लिटरेचर बेस्ड नहीं बल्कि ये हमारा एक्चुअल AQMS फील्ड विजिट भी इंक्लूड है. First of all, there comes the background. Extreme heat or air pollution, two major environmental challenges हैं, and in many urban areas, this problem can occur at the same time. जनरली जब टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज़ होता है तो जो सिर्फ हमारा कंफर्ट इफेक्ट नहीं होता बल्कि एटमॉस्फेरिक कंडीशन भी चेंज होती हैं. टेम्परेचर, सोलर रेडिएशन, स्पीड एंड ह्यूमिडिटी पोल्यूटेंट्स की फॉर्मेशन, डिस्पर्शन और कंसनट्रेशन को इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकता है. However, an important point is that the all pollutants do not respond to the temperature in the same way. For example, hot and sunny conditions can favor ground level ozone formation, whereas the particulate matter such as the PM 2.5 and PM 10 can also be strongly influenced by the dust, wind, humidity, and emission sources. Here comes the question that what is the PM 2.5 and PM 10? PM stand for the particulate matter, and it's PM 2.5 means that the size of this parameter size of this particulate matter is 2.5, and the PM 10 their size is 10. PM 2.5 is basically the small dust particles, and the PM 10 are basically larger emission particles. So they are mostly from the traffic, dust or wind. इसलिए मैंने सरगोदा को लोकल स्टडी के तौर पे सिलेक्ट किया है क्योंकि और अपने AQMS फील्ड विजिट को साइंटिफिक लिटरेचर के साथ कनेक्ट किया. Here comes the statement. Now coming to the problem statement, Sargodha experienced very hot summer conditions. While air pollution is also an important environmental concern, the main problem is that हम अक्सर heat और air pollution को separately discuss करते हैं, लेकिन scientifically meteorological conditions and air quality can interact with each other. एट द सेम टाइम हम ये सिंपल एजप्शन भी नहीं कर सकते कि टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज होने से हर पोल्यूटेंट ऑटोमेटिकली इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. डिफरेंट पोल्यूटेंट हैव डिफरेंट सोर्सेज एंड एटमॉस्फेरिक बिहेवियर. देयरफॉर देयर इज नो नीड टू एग्जामिन this issue at the local level, and therefore there is a need to examine this issue at the local level and understand how extreme heat and different air quality parameters can studies together in the Sargodha. Then there comes the aims and research objectives of my research. The main aim of my project was to assess the relationship between the extreme heat and urban quality in Sargodha by combining field evidence, environmental observation, and scientific literature. To achieve this aim, I developed several objectives. First, to document our AQMS field visit and understand the monitoring process. Secondly, to identify the major air pollutants and meteorological variables relevant to this study. Third, to analyze the available observations, including the real-time AQMS snapshots. Fourth, to compare our local field evidence with the finding from the scientific literature. And finally, to develop the practical recommendation from e-heating, heat resilience, and the air quality management in Sargodha. The research question based on these objectives, I developed 5 main research questions. The first question was, which pollutant and meteorological variable are monitored through the AQMS? The second question was focused on the natural environment condition observing during our field visit. Third, I wanted to understand how high temperature can influence different air pollutants. Fourth one is I explored what practical measures could improve heat resilience and heat quality management in the Sargodha. These research questions provided the basic directions for the entire project. When I visited the AQMS first time during our field visit, I came to know that there are different monitoring systems. Then I came home and I selected that I will choose these as my capstone project. And from the literature review, I find some key findings, and they were: before analyzing our field observation, I conducted the literature review to understand the scientific relation between the extreme heat and air pollution. The literature indicates that the climate change is increasing at the risk and the intensity of extreme heat in many regions, including South Asia. and across Asia. One most important finding related to the this research was the ground level ozone. In the coming slides, you will see that the ozone conditions is ozone concentration was increased ground level ozone formation. So I will show you when the slides will come. Hot and sunny condition can create favorable conditions for the photochemical reaction. As the temperature is increasing, there is many photochemical reactions in which the most of the chemicals react and they can contribute to the ozone formation. However, the particular matter is more complex, and the PM 2.5 and PM 10 can be affected by the traffic emission, combustion, dust, wind, humidity, rainfall, and the atmospheric mixing. So, the major conclusion from the literature review was the air pollution should be analyzed pollutant by the pollutant rather than the treating all pollutant as one single problem. Then there comes the research methodology. For this project, I used a mixed evidence case study project approach. The first component was our actual field visit to the air quality monitoring system. These provided practical exposure to the monitoring station and the equipment. The second component was the photographic evidence. The third was the review of the scientific and the institutional literature. After collecting this form of evidence, I used descriptive analysis to interrupt the observed pollutants and how they affect our environment. The actual field observation were kept separate from the literature-based information in my studies. Then at the end, I will give the recommendation for the Sargodha. The field visit, the slide represent the practical fieldwork component of my project. We visit AQMS number 17 in Sargodha. This visit was documented through the GPS and the timestamp photographs. During the visit, we observed the exterior monitoring station, rooftop sampling and meteorological components, indoor analytical instruments, and the computerized real-time data system. This visit was very important for my project because it allowed me to understand how air quality are generated. Before this visit, the AQMS was a theoretical concept, and to reach their data, we need a proper. Uh, sorry. Then there comes the AQMS equipment. During the visit, we observed different components of the monitoring system. The station contained analytical component and the central computerized data acquisition system. In the left side, you will see the BPM 200 data particular monitor was visible, which is associated with the particle matter, and AQMS 500 analyzer was on the right side, which was also observed. The main learning point here is that AQMS is not simply an one machine that gives the AQI number. It is basically a whole monitoring system. Then this comes the snapshots. This is one of the most important slide in my presentation because it shows the actual real-time environmental snapshot visible during our field visit. At the particular moment, the temperature was approximately 38.5 degrees Celsius. The station was simultaneously displaying PM 2.5, PM 10, ozone, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen, and carbon monoxide, several meteorological parameters. The relative humidity was approximately 34.85%, and the wind speed and was the 1.31. These were the parameters which you can see. This measurement is scientifically important because air quality cannot be interrupted using temperature alone. Then the particulate matter results. Now, if we focus specifically on the particulate matter, PM stand for the particle matter, which means very small particles suspended in the air. PM 2.5 refers to the fine particles, as I have told you earlier, and PM 10 to inhalable particles, which are up to 10 micrometers. During our field visit, PM 2.5 was 2.28.7 micrograms, while the PM 10 was 225.3 micrograms. So at the particular matter, PM 10 was much higher than PM 2.5. This suggests a great contribution for the coarse particles at that moment, possibly influenced maybe because of the road dust. As you can see that the dust particles were more, so this can be influenced by that. In this slide we can now I would like to explain one of the most important scientific relation in my project, the relationship between high temperature, solar radiation, and ground level ozone. Temperature itself does not directly produce ozone. However, when the high temperature occurs together during with the sunlight, it can create favorable condition for the chemical reaction in the atmosphere. In the presence of the precursor pollutants, these reactions can contribute to the ground level ozone formation, and the ground level ozone formation will enhance or influence the higher temperatures. So at the same time, monitoring system was measuring ozone. Key points is that Hot and sunny conditions may favor ozone formation, but the actual relationship depend on the atmospheric chemistry. Then there comes the main findings based on the field evidence and the literature review. Several important findings were the एक्यूएमएस एयर पोल्यूटेंट्स एंड मेट्रोलॉजिकल वेरिएबल्स को डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट करता है और उसको मॉनिटर करता है कॉन्टीन्यूसली. हमारे विजिट्स ने भी ये कैप्चर किया है कि हमारे पास स्ट्रॉन्ग सोलर रेडिएशंस डे टाइम के अंदर देखी जा सकती हैं. PM10 की कंसनट्रेशन ज़्यादा थी, विच इज़ अ बेसिकली अ मेजर इशू. ओजोन इज़ द इम्पोर्टेंट pollutant टू इन्वेस्टिगेट ड्यूरिंग हॉट एंड सनी डेज. Then there comes a discussion when I interrupt the findings, two major environmental processes became particularly important. The first is the photochemical reaction, especially ground level ozone. This type of pollution can be influenced by the sunlight, temperature, and precursor emission. Second is the PM10, as I discussed earlier, that we should take some step to control this. Then the recommendation for Sargodha. Based on my findings, I have proposed several recommendations for Sargodha. First, continuous and the controlled AQMS monitoring should be maintained. PM 2.5 and PM10 and ozone should be analyzed separately because they have different sources and atmospheric behavior. Third, we should give attention to the dust control measures, clean transportation, and reduction of the avoidable emission. Urban greening and the is the most important. Then studies limitations as like every research project, my study has also limitations. The main limitation is that the we have a very हमें बहुत कम AQMS डाटा तक असेस मिल सकी थी एंड दैट वाज वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट. सेकेंडली हमें मोनीटर करने के लिए बहुत इन द सरगोदा देर आर ओनली 2 monitoring systems in which we visited this monitor station. Thirdly, I will conclude my studies, my presentation with that the extreme heat can influence urban air quality, but the relationship is complex and pollutant specific. Overall, this project demonstrates that the importance of the evidence-based environmental monitoring. Future research, as the air quality is the one of the biggest problems, so this will open the gate for the more future research. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can ask me.